Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Crosby and today we'll be working on a Fintech Credit Card UI. And in this tutorial we are going to use technologies like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and also CSS Gradient and CSS Variables. So over here you realize we have a credit card with two images. One will be the SIM card sort of image, and then the one will be the Visa card image. And we also have this tilting effect using Tilt.js. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that we'll do is to get the Visa card image from flaticon.com. So you just visit flaticon.com and then you search for Visa. And what I'll do over here is to select this particular Visa icon and then hit the edit button. And then over here I'll just change the color from black to white using the hex code FFF. You can either type 3 of that or 6 of that. So when it does it changes the color, you simply hit the download and save as SVG. I've already done that, so I wouldn't do that again. And then for this particular SIM image, I cropped it out of another image, so in case you are looking for where to find it, I have it on the repo of the channel. So you can head to github.com/crosbywrote, and then you find the project over there, and then hit the SIM link, and then you see this image over there. So those are the two assets that we will need from the internet. So let's get back into code. Okay, so to start the project, you first have to create a folder and then right click it and open it in VS Code. And now that we are in VS Code, all that you need to do to set up the basic structure is to type exclamation mark and then hit the tab button. So I'm going to lay out the basic HTML structure for the credit card UI. I'm going to time lapse through it and then we'll go through. I'll explain what I did, then we head over to the CSS and I do a similar thing. Okay, so now that we have the basic structure over there, let's go ahead and move the assets that we downloaded from the internet into the project folder. So we head over to the project and then you copy and paste it over there. So now to preview what we've done so far, you use Live Server. It's an VS Code extension. When you right click the file, the HTML file, it will allow you to live load it and then see your changes as you write your code. But in case you do not have it, then you can click this particular icon over here which says extensions and then type Live Server and then click the very first one. You click install, and when it's done, probably it might let you reload your VS Code and then it will be applied. So now that we have that one out of the way, let's go ahead and then preview what we've done so far in the browser. Okay, so to preview, you just right click the file as I showed earlier and then click open with Live Server, and then this will load your current progress. So when you look at the browser, you realize there's a huge space up here, and then there's another image and then the text that we had over there in the code. So this big space is the Visa SVG that we downloaded or we copied. So that's the reason why there's this particular big space, white space over there. The reason why it's white is because the Visa image 2 is white as well. So that's the reason. So I'm going to put the screen side by side and we can live see or what we are doing as we write the code. So we are going to head over to the CSS side of things and then we will start styling our project. So I'll go ahead and hit Ctrl B to hide the sidebar in the VS Code, and then we can proceed from there. We will hit Ctrl and then N to create a new file, and then we will save it as style.css. So style.css, and in the HTML file, what we will do add to the head section will be a link. So we say link and then select this particular one with the CSS. It already auto fills it with style.css, so we have that, and then we save it. And then because we do not have any particular styles in our CSS file, it doesn't do anything. So let's go ahead and write the CSS for that. So in the CSS, what I'll do is I'll first remove this particular space between the content and then the browser itself, and then also change the cursor from changing to an I-beam all the time to a normal cursor like this. So with this code, this is what it does. So when I hit the save button, it does this, and then the reason why we are seeing this bar over here and over here is because of the large Visa card image or logo. So that one will work on that as well. And also I'll go ahead and then set the outline to none. This basically prevents the browser from auto highlighting the element that is selected. You can ignore this particular line as well, but I just put it in there, and it's more vivid on mobile devices than PCs. And I'll set the font size to sans serif, and then the box sizing of everything to border box. So basically this sets the font. This particular lines of code or block of code will remove the outlining, and then also set the font family for all the elements. When you see the asterisk over here, it means all. So all the HTML elements that we are going to provide, everything is going to assume an outline of none, a font family of sans serif, and a box sizing of border box. This prevents the box sizing prevents a container from overflowing or having extra width when a pattern is being applied to that particular element. So basically that's what it does. So I'll go ahead and time lapse through the credit card UI design. So at this point, I'm about to set the background color for the credit card, which is this particular element that we've designed. So what I use is a tool called CSS Gradient.io to generate the gradient. So you can come and select the color of your choice, and you choose the angles that you want to use for your gradient. So this is your gradient. Let me go ahead and maximize it. So you can have all forms of angles. Then you can change a number of parameters, which makes things a little bit easier to generate. So I went ahead and chose the colors that I preferred. So when you scroll down here, there's a portion that can allow you to click to copy it to your clipboard so that you can paste it into your code. So you can generate that and then have that copied and then pasted in your CSS code, and it will work perfectly. Okay, so now what's left for us to do is to grab the Tilt.js from TiltJS documentation and then have it in there, and then we'll have our hover effect for our credit card. So search on Google Tilt.js and choose the very first link. So over there they have their documentation. They show you like some of the things that can be done with their documentation, and when you click the download link over here, it takes you to their GitHub repo, and then you scroll to the very bottom till you see CDN. So you can either right click or hold Ctrl and click, and it will take you to the source code for the Tilt.js. So you can copy it, select all and copy, and then come into your VS Code and then hit Ctrl N to create a new file and then paste it in there, and then save it as Tilt.js. Now that we've done that, the other thing that the documentation also requires is jQuery. So when we scroll down to where the documentation starts, you realize the most basic usage says add tilt jQuery right before the closing or body tag. Then you mark your element with this particular data tilt attribute. So let's go ahead and copy this and come into our VS Code. In the HTML file, we want to apply this to the credit card. So we have it here, we paste it. So before we include our script tag over here, let's go ahead and grab the jQuery CDN. So search jQuery and choose jQuery CDN, and then we'll choose the minified version. So it gives us the link. You can simply click this to copy and then come back into your code and then paste it right here. So that's the jQuery, and then all that we need to add now is the Tilt.js file. So Tilt.js. And our work is done. So now we have the hover effect from the Tilt.js. So thank you for spending time with me. I'm Crosby once again. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell as well, and see you in the next tutorial.